The first thing you need to do when teaching your dog to shake is to figure out a way to get them to lift their paw so you can reinforce that behavior. Now Rags, as you can see, already knows waves, which is going to make this really helpful because she already knows that she's been reinforced for lifting her paw. But your dog may have a much harder time lifting their paw or you getting them to lift their paw. So you may have to get creative in how you can get them to get that paw off the ground so that you can reward them and get them to do it more often. Now, one way you can get your dog to lift their feet is to show them a treat, ball it up in your fist, and let them paw at it. Some dogs do this really easily, some dogs struggle with that a little bit more. Let's see if it works here for Rags. So I'm going to show her my treat, put it in my fist, try holding it up. I'm just looking for her to lift up her foot there. Oh, good girl, yes, good girl. So even though she didn't actually paw at my hand, I just marked that behavior of her lifting her foot and then reinforced it. Good girl. Try that again. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. So even though she moved to kind of move into a down there, she still lifted her foot and I still marked that behavior so she can try to figure out that what she's being rewarded for is actually lifting that foot off the ground. We'll do that a few times. Yes, good girl. Again, she lifted that foot. And then what I'll do, as we do more repetitions, is I'll shape that behavior by only rewarding her for lifting it higher and higher. But first, I really want her to understand that she's being rewarded for lifting that foot off the ground, even if it's just a little bit. Another thing you can do is try to tap on your dog's wrist to get them to lift their foot, or present your hand. Some dogs will eventually just paw at it because it's there without the distraction of the treat, but do whatever you need to do to get your dog to lift their foot. Good girl. Once your dog is reliably lifting their foot off the ground every time you present that treat in your fist or tap them on the ankle or whatever you've been doing, then you're ready to morph that into a hand signal. So our hand signal for shake is just a flat palm that our dog can put their paw in. So how you morph that kind of depends on what you've been doing. But what you basically want to do, present that hand maybe without a treat, or you can try it with a treat at first, and as soon as your dog lifts their paw, you can kind of put that hand under them and make sure they touch it. Once they touch it, that's what you're going to reinforce. Give them that positive marker and then give them their treat. With Rags, come here, sit. Sit. I'm going to pretend like I have that treat in my hand. My fist out, yes, good girl, good girl. Once she lifted that foot, I got my hand right under it and then rewarded her for actually touching my hand. So I'm going to try that again. That's the wrong foot. Yes, good girl, good girl. And do it again. Yes, good girl, good girl. So she lifted her foot, but I didn't give her my positive marker until she actually made contact. And that's how we're going to get her to learn how to shake. Now, once she's doing that really well and touching my hand every time, then you can add your verbal cue, which in this case is going to be shake. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to present my hand just as I was before, that flat palm up, and say shake at the same time. Rag, shake. Yes, good girl, good girl. Rag, shake. Yes, good girl, good girl. You want to do that over and over and over again until your dog has built a solid connection between the word shake and the behavior they've been getting reinforced for. Good girl. Once you do that, then you can work on the other side shake. Yeah, good girl, Rags. You're going to do the same thing. You're just going to use the opposite hand and work with the opposite paw. And that way you can do a shake on this side and a shake on this side. Good girl, Rags. Good girl.